Yeah, good morning. My name is Brian. I actually want to discuss a very important issue, but I'm going to pull my discussion from a little bit illustration or demonstration from the Bible. There's this point that God said in the Bible, "Come, let us reason together." That is God calling humanity into a table of reasoning, so that God and human can actually sort out a little bit issues that was going on. I'm actually going to draw my points or center my discussion around that invitation. Now, I'm extending this invitation to concerned youth out there that we should come, let's reason together. Let's use this platform to reason together. We have a common problem among Nigerian youth, more especially. Yes, it's actually painful for a youth to, or for a student to actually go through the process of registering for WAEC, JAM, sitting for the examination, and actually getting admission and going through the process of studying maybe the desired course or the course that was given to you by the school as a result of admission process and the rest of them. And at the end, after 4 years, after 5 years, after 6 years of stress, of trauma, of passing through rigorous process, you graduated, went through NYSC, even in some trouble states, and at the end, there's no job. It's demoralizing, it's killing, it's a painful experience. Yes, I must tell you, it's a painful experience. It's even more painful when after this process you were able to raise some money because there was no job. You raised some money and you went into business, and before you know it, the same system that had been frustrating us came together and bring up a policy that begin to act against your business, and before you know it, the business start going down and you went out of business. Yeah, it's more painful again that at the end, some persons gathered money from different sources, sold their properties, decide to travel abroad to seek for a better life, and before you know it, the particular agent that is trying to help you now becomes someone that wants to rip you off. And it's even more painful that even after crossing through the borders, seeing yourself at the country perhaps which you do not desire to be, but you just want to get something within the budget of your money and leave, at least just to run out of the country so that you see whether you get a better life. Then the country you now came into now become more problem. It's even more tougher than the system that you run out of. It's more painful. All this input together, it's actually painful. And I have passed through this process and I find out that from my experience, it is something that no one ever wishes to go through. But there's always a solution to every problem. That is why I said, come, let us reason together. So that I can actually share from my experience how I was able to make it through this process that I'm going to introduce to all of us. And I believe it is going to work. It is a system that have not failed. It is a system that even the Western world they use it. And that is why you see them prospering. But because our system was so built on a very corrupt platform, selfish platform, you know, people going to establishing institution of learning without actually putting the student into consideration. They put their profit first. That's what you see. You understand? But I'm going to introduce it into the system and I believe it is going to work. Now, when God gave mankind that invitation, come, let's reason together. God is not a partial God. God is the God of the rich, He's the God of the poor, He's the God of the highest, He's the God of the tall, He's the God of the short. He's not a partial God. God has given each and every one of us a unique gift, talent that must see us through in life. You know, the problem we are having as Nigerian youth, in quote, is we are not being able to discover our talent. It happens to me too. Yes, it happens to me too. Maybe because of fantasy of I want to be a medical doctor, I want to be this, I want to be that. All these things now actually took you out of the main purpose that you should be focusing on, which is that particular raw material that God has planted into you. You know, when God created man, he knew government policy will always come. That is why he gave you a particular gift, a particular talent that will break every protocol and make you become that particular person he wants you to be. But you know that most of us at times out of carelessness, out of negligence, we decide to just let go and then focus on another person's future or another person's dream because we feel we want to be like this, we want to be like this. Now, I will give a little bit illustration, trying to bring this point down. When I was in secondary school, I have a classmate then I was in science class. This guy is intelligent, very intelligent. You ask him any question in current affairs, he's there. You ask him any kind of question you ask him in current affairs, in general life, he'll just give you a response. But when you begin to ask him questions in physics, chemistry, you begin to find it difficult. It came to a point where he was noticed by one of the toughest teacher in our class. And this man is somebody that if you fail his assignment, he's going to flog the hell out of you. This guy keeps on receiving cane from this man, and the man became tired of flogging him. The man had told him one day, though it was embarrassing, he told him in presence of everybody, that everybody is not supposed to be in science class. That was embarrassing. But that my classmate manned up, he took it with confidence. He was able to embrace the opportunity that was given to him by that tough lecture teacher. And the next day, he left sciences and went to arts. So I'm talking to you now, the guy graduated as a lawyer and he realized that the system here won't give him what he wants. He make things available for himself, pack his load and he left for Canada. So I'm talking to you right now, the guy is a successful lawyer in Canada, he has an HMI in Canada. What am I trying to say? When you begin to discover the purpose at which we are being created, you now begin to see that so many things now become so easy for us. The government policy, all those things won't be an issue because God did not create us adding government policy as the problem to our life. No, God created us unique. What am I trying to say? I promised to introduce a particular model which actually worked for me and it made me who I am today. And it gave me a sense of direction into going through my path of career, even when I might have graduated. Now I went to university like all of us, wanted to read engineering, but Jam and the rest of them, up to tests and the rest of them before you know it, took supplementary form and I studied maritime. Going to that university was the first time of hearing that course maritime. I have not known anything concerning maritime, but because I don't want to go back home, I just want to study maritime, become a graduate and I'll move on, which I actually did. But you see, graduating, going to the labor market, looking for a job was a very difficult task. You know the system. You don't have the man at the top. You keep on carrying your file up and down. Even if you have a very good result, they will only commend you. Oh, you have a wonderful result. We'll get back to you. And that's the end. But if you have someone up there, you don't even need that wonderful result. That is all the system. That's what I'm trying to say. But now, something happened as I was growing. I noticed I always have this likeness for electrical and stuff, technical things. And I remember that when I was growing up, I do this. And I was okay, why not go back to that thing you like to do and develop a career around that thing you're doing? That was when I went back into electrical and I started looking for companies that are into electrical. Since I cannot go back to school to study electrical again, I went to the company that needs that electrical service and I went there and I began to work from the scratch and grow from there, and I began to have a very strong foundation in electrical. And by the grace of God, that is what I'm doing now. I have never made any money from maritime, and to me, that certificate I got from maritime is not being utilized. You understand? Yes, the certificate did not save me, but my certificate saved me. What am I trying to say? We need to key in into the model I call the TSP model. TSP model is a model that I have never failed. All the people I've been talking to, tell them about this TSP model. They've been trying it and it's found out that it works for them. Now, let's look at the system. You pass through university, you graduate, came into service to serve in NYC, and then I begin to talk to you about entrepreneurship just between 1 year of service. Now, what if you knew about these things before you went into university? Your life would have been excellent. How am I trying to say? How do I mean? TSP model means talent, skill, and profession. Now, talent is what God has given to you. Quite alright. It's a natural gift God gave to you. And there's always a skill surrounding every talent that an individual have. There's always a skill. Now, there's always a professional body that is established to make you a professional in that particular skill that you know or that you are learning. What am I trying to say? Assuming, for example, I discover from time that I know how to act. I'm into acting. I can make people laugh. I can act. I can be so creative in terms of acting. And I'm now begin to learn the skills surrounding the acting, surrounding my acting skill. And at the point I need to get to university, once I pick the jam form, straight up, I'll just look for a school that studies theater art without even looking at medicine, engineering, and the rest of them. Now, if I graduate from theater art, I don't need to start carrying my books, my bag, looking for job. No. What I just need to do is just to establish in that particular field and now become a professional in that particular field, an authority. What am I trying to say? TSP model is a model that is trusted, a model that can never fail. Because of the length of this video, I'm going to stop here, and then in our next episode, I will talk to you more about TSP model. I'll take it down. So please, I urge you to subscribe to Floxy TV. This is where this particular series will be coming in, and then you get to be blessed. I believe you. If you are out there, you are confused in life. If you are out there, you don't know what to do. If you are out there, you don't even know your talent. We can help you discover your talent. It is no magic. It works. Why? Because it is something that God has put inside of you, just for you to just go back, retrace your step, and begin to key in into that particular talent, into that particular gift. If you are finding it difficult, contact us. I'll help you through the process. Just subscribe to Floxy TV, follow us in our series in this particular TSP model, and you see yourself at the top. Thanks so much. I remain my humble self, Brian Chidi. See you in the next series. Bye bye.